everyone, and welcome back to Larps and Tarps. We are going to be picking up part 2 of E4. So today, I'm sure you already know us all by now, but we are joined with...
Kerry!
Alex.
Tom.
It's Morgan.
Wow.
Here's Morgan.
The suspenders actually make that funnier.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean braces?
They are called suspenders,
I
aren't
thought
they?
suspenders were the ones you had on fishnet stockings.
Isn't
They're
it?
both types of
Both.
suspenders.
Yeah.
Just
And Morgan's in both right now.
Yeah. Well, they're also called garters that keep up your.
they're the ones on your thighs.
Yeah, that's what you
Okay.
done, wasn't it? I
No,
think
he
it-
was on a
And I think-
belt on your
Oh, they're
calf.
sock garters.
Yeah.
They're another
I
thing.
think, aren't garters just the stripper material?
Yeah, garter is just the thing that keeps something in place. So you can get shirt garters, which keep your shirts tucked in. And you can get sock garters that keep your socks up.
And
I-
Morgan is, as always, wearing all of these things.
All of them. I am perfectly
He's showing
dressed.
us as he says
absolutely.
about
Yeah, a bit risque.
Look at those legs.
the,
Those are Dawn's legs.
I saw a 1920s advert for sock garters, which was basically saying that you'll never get married if you've got loose socks. And I'm like, incredible.
Well, it's true, though.
Yeah, of
we
course.
all know.
No one wants a loose socked husband, do they? Disgusting.
How long have we been talking for?
About 2.5 minutes. It's not part of the charm.
I said 30 seconds for it to get derailed.
I think it probably was derailed within 30
Look,
seconds.
it is because we did our children's introduction episode,
Yeah.
and they always go off the rails very quick.
I quite like some shirt suspenders for work, maybe. They keep your shirt tucked
keep you tucked in. Yeah, they go around your legs, and then they keep your shirt pulled down.
And on this week of Larps Tops, we have entered the 50s.
yeah.
So we still haven't done a tarp episode, but we're very close to doing a strap episode for some
Yeah.
reason.
Whoa.
Strap in and strap on. Gentlemen.
This is great for our SEO. Hell yeah. Larps and Tarps get strapped. So, Friday evening.
We've just had sad times, haven't we?
Yeah.
Otis is dead.
Yeah.
I mean, my Friday evening was, again, finding out within like the space of 10 minutes that 2 incredibly dear friends have died, whilst also like entertaining someone who I'd invited out for a drink and being like, I'm really sorry, this has brought a very depressive air to the proceedings.
Why didn't you go to the Jackdaws bar for some drinks?
I was in the Jackdaws bar when I found out.
And it wasn't
Yeah.
the Jackdaws bar that depressed you,
No.
was it?
No,
It was
it-
a delightful atmosphere,
it was the-
wasn't it?
I feel like I was quite clear that it was the 2 dead friends that made me upset.
They didn't die in the bar, by the way.
No, they didn't die in the bar.
You can die on the street, you can't die in the bar.
The person who was with me did have a traumatic wound, though.
Oh no.
Because they'd had their head caved in during downtime, and then Murdoch did surgery on them.
I thought you were going to say they had the head caved in at the bar, and I was like, it's not that kind of bar.
No, yeah, maybe it should be. Maybe we should start a bar fight next time.
I
Maybe.
mean, Dadka does want to be the leader of the mafia, so I'm sure we could
There
work
we
in
go.
a bit of roughness.
Perfect. Bring back the Veeg.
The vegan.
Oh no, we spent a lot of time wiping those out.
But yeah, I spent some time there. Again, talking about the people that had died. Sol did a wonderful performance
Yeah.
at Hens as usual. Well, several people did performances, but only one of them was singing about Tristan. So, and then yeah, I had Wine Club,
Wine club.
which I was. I had to. And the person I was with, I was like, "Look, we're having a lovely evening, and I feel bad kicking you out. So should we try and sneak you in as a +1 to Wine Club?"
You had to go and beg a favour from Prince
I
Braddock.
had to go kiss the prince's ring, but he allowed me to have a +1.
Delightful.
And I turned up, and my cupbearer was already there. So the wonderful Love Day was there, ready to pour the wine.
You fancy bastard.
Yeah, yeah. Were you? You think you were there when I got there?
Well,
weren't
I was already in the Reaper's camp because that's where the prince's meeting was. This time we decided to play the Merchant Prince's drinking game, which got us utterly wankered before...
So you were drunk
Wine
before we
Club.
even started.
Well, the rules of the game was drink whenever someone says, drink whenever money was mentioned, drink whenever virtues were mentioned, drink whenever the cities were mentioned, And drink whenever wains were mentioned.
Well, that's just what you talk about at the princes' meeting, so I can only assume you were rat-arsed right at
yeah.
the start. Yeah, excellent. So the princes' meeting had already happened.
Yes.
That I thought I was going to have to sit through like a princes' meeting.
Oh, no.
I thought I was going to have to sit through and listen to diplomacy talks whilst I got bladdered.
No. Prince's meeting happens at 11.
Sure.
Wine clubs happens at 12. Prince's meeting, I actually voted on something this time I actually cared about.
Oh, my word.
The buying and distribution of a mithril share, a mithril boar seat.
Oh, yeah.
So, effectively, I wanted the one that would get me mithril at bargain prices. Luckily, that was the one that won.
Hell yeah.
I am happy. We also donated 6 thrones to the completion of the Lantern Wolf.
What's the Lantern Wolf?
It's a seat in Tasato that does something. But it's in Tasato, so I want to build it because nothing ever happens in Tasato. And I want to help to donate to a prosperous cause. But yeah, that was my prince's meeting. Get wankered to help make sure I get cheap mithril and support something.
Nice.
Yippee.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to Wine Club.
Wine Club was great. Wonderful to be there.
Love how Elle sets up a little table for everyone. This is during the princes' meeting, so the princes can see the important princes getting their table set up.
I arrived and was like, sorry, someone needs to open my wine now because it needs to breathe. So I think Loveday poured the wine into the decanter I brought, period-appropriate decanter, which was a glass jug from Sainsbury's.
But you didn't want anyone to get poisoned. I think Raddick was a bit jumpy.
Yeah, it came in a sealed bottle. I was like, well, it could come with an open bottle, but given the prince was killed last time, I was like, probably not a good idea. And then, proceeded to try all the different wines. Loveday was fantastic. She came up to me at one point and she was like, my lord, if the quality of the wine is subpar, I can discard of you discreetly if you would like. And I would try it. And we were rating out of 5. I think, was it 5? I turned to her and went, 2, and she went, understood, and just chucked it on the floor. It was so funny.
All the important folk of the League and some other nations were there.
Yep.
Like that scamp Talus Ashbourne.
Talus Ashbourne gets everywhere.
Yeah, you can't get rid of him. He's like a rash.
Yeah.
A joyous rash.
A lovely rash that you look on fondly.
Oh, very, very much so. My wine came middling. I'm quite happy with my £6 M&S Grenache that Chloe recommended.
You're welcome.
Got middle score, yippee.
That's a great wine.
Mediocre is my middle name.
Yeah, so Elle had a little chalkboard, so she notes down what each wine scores, which is nice. And for Sir Fancy Pants, unfortunately, won over there.
Yes, they did. I have a little medal.
Woo!
His lordship Sir Tristan Ackerman with his decanter of wine.
Are you going to wear your little medal around?
I was wearing it all weekend.
Ooh, delight.
All weekend on my... Well, I say that when I was wearing my soft kicks. I was mostly wearing Arbor all Saturday. But yeah, that was very cool to win Wine Club. I won Wine Club in the middle of trying to sort out 2 of my friends having a breakup. But
Haven't you once won Wine Club for having the worst wine?
Yes.
As well, Tom. So you're now both winners for very different
Let me
reasons.
tell you, Tristan loving that fact. Didn't mention it, of
absolutely.
course. It's a good sport, but very much like,
Best wine.
yeah, it was really good.
I'm glad you enjoyed your first Wine Club.
Yeah, it was
It's
good.
the event of each season.
Yeah, it was good, really good. First, but hopefully not the last.
Well,
Given I brought a lot of drama with me, but you know.
most certainly. Well, that's my Friday anyway.
Yeah, same here. I went to bed after that. And then Saturday, all the cool nations were monstering, I think.
No, the
so.
League was fighting.
Yeah, all the cool nations.
Yeah, all the cool nations are monstering.
You guys bullying old Nietzsche.
Bullying a little old Nietzsche.
Do you want to start with the monstering or do you want to start with the battle? How was monstering for you guys as everyone's favourite enemy, the Jotun?
Sick.
It was so much fun.
I had a great
Yeah, I
time
enjoyed
monstering.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Most people say they get bored as the Jotun, so it's nice that...
No.
It was the least boring Jotun fight I've had.
Well, it
Yeah.
felt a bit more dynamic when we fought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, were you all playing Jotun then no unmasked
No,
peoples?
I had my mask on.
I had a mask.
I thought I had one respawn with my mask on. I thought, sod this, I'm too hot.
Yeah.
So I took
That's
it off.
fair.
But I had smudged a lot of red face paint all on my face, so it was all right.
Yeah.
We played, we were basically doing Jotun shock troops. So we were like running in, like charging lines, scrapping and running back out again, which was a lot of fun. They, for the most of the battle, they kind of kept the gates clear. So we were briefed to never fight at a gate. We either ran back out of it or ran straight through it, but never engaged in the middle. I think that fell apart towards the end of the fight.
Yeah, I was going to say, but most of our fighting was in a gate.
Well, me and you went up at one point after a respawn. We just kind of sauntered over to a gate that was just in a crush, like,
Oh yeah.
just stood together. I was like, sorry, you died, mate.
That was our first time ever fighting together.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
it
we're
was.
technically monstering, but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We were like, where's Tom?
Oh yeah, we saw just your wig
The top of the
somewhere
barrel.
in a
Yeah,
mass of
we were like, oh,
Leaguish
low
people.
intervals.
3 lines back. All right, sure, Nietzsche.
I saw Tom twice, and both times, literally, like, kamikaze threw myself just at him. The first time was pretty early on, and with both my swords, just went straight and just absolutely pelted you. But then, obviously, the rest of the jackdaws just descended on me, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Boom, 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 boom.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's cool, that's fun. And then the second time was like towards the end of the battle, and
I think I actually saw you that time because you weren't wearing the mask. Like, there's Chloe. I've got to dash towards you.
yeah, so yeah, I didn't actually realize I know the person, I see, and I didn't realize it was them because they still had their mask on. But actually, I was like, that one in the silly wig, we're getting that one. And he looked at me and went, yeah, we are. Like, it turns out, I think they maybe have beef with Nietzsche as well.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if they know you because of the podcast or whatever, but they knew who you are. They were like, right, I'm going to run in. Are you ready? And I was like, I'm ready. And then the two of us just came and just darted both
I
for
wonder
you.
who it was.
Oh, I know who it is. Like,
Oh.
I see we're good friends. Like, they're a pretty prominent military person.
In Var.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too many specifics away because I don't want to
That's fine. If you, yeah.
out
that's
them,
fine.
I guess. I don't know.
I probably don't have a clue who you are, mystery person.
No. It was a lot
No.
of fun. But it just was really good that the one person I said it to was like, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, they just looked at me like, right, are you ready? I'm going in 3, 2, 1. And then we both just started. And then Tom runs 4 lines back. And I was like, what a coward.
No, I saw him right at the beginning. I literally was like, as soon as I got to the front lines, I saw that jackdaw banner. I was like, yeah, he's there. But like, it was a bit of a crush. There wasn't a lot of space to get round, and I was like, maybe like 3 rows back. So I'm there trying to get forward with my little sword, but everyone's got spears and things, and they're all on the front lines. And I'm like, that makes sense.
Watching Rocky versus the Crimson Reapers
Yeah.
was one of the LARP highlights of my life. So there was a
Of
point
your life.
of my life.
Yeah.
We were all getting together. It was all very claustrophobic, and I was getting pushed back, and my shield was getting almost bent in half. And I was like, I paid too much for the shield for this to happen. So I just like pulled it out, and I kind of popped out the back of the line. And there was Rocky and Georgie, and they were just stood like leaning against a fence. They were hungover to all hell. They were just like pale, shaking. Neither of them had orc masks on. But, you know, credit to them. They made it there. And Rocky was like, right, come on, let's get stuck in when he saw me. So he went in. And I don't even know if he had armor on, to be honest. I don't think he did.
Probably not.
Just a massive hammer. And he looks over and he's like, there's some Crimson Reapers. Goes to the front of the line, starts shouting, and picks out a couple of them. And these guys are obviously fully plate armored up, you know, ready for a fight against Rocky in a shirt. And he just went to town and just started swinging and got a couple nice hits off, and then got back, got healed, got stuck straight back in. He was like a surfer. Like as soon as he'd come off the wave, he was straight back into the water. And shortly after that, I realized that I had 3 unstoppables in a row and decided to use them in a row. So it gets to the point where you've stood up for the 3rd time and they're like, why won't this guy die?
Yeah,
He just
yeah,
keeps swinging at me. But no, it was a good fun. I had so much fun monstering that day.
Yeah, I had Unstoppable, and I actually remembered to use it.
Yay.
Yay. And it felt good. It was a good moment. But no, I absolutely love doing silly little antics when I'm monstering. So I teamed up with Charlie this time, and we were Wulfric and Jotun, because Wulfric thinks that all the other Jotuns are called Jotun, and the reason he thinks that is because his great-granddad thought that, and Charlie's great-granddad, Jotun, also thought that. And Charlie's great-granddad continued the naming tradition, but Wulfric went, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it differently. Why hasn't anyone ever thought to name their children anything else? So rather than shouting Jotun, Wulfric shouts Wulfric, Wulfric. But at one point he was chanting Jotun, and for a minute I went, I wasn't supposed to do that, but it was right after Charlie had said, right, I'm going to go get him, and went to the front line. So I was like, actually, no. In retrospect, no. Wulfric was chanting for Jotun, and he thought everyone else was chanting for Jotun too. And it was absolutely, it was so much fun.
Yeah, no, I had a good laugh. It was, yeah. I have more fun as Grendel, I think.
I just,
Druge.
as long as I've got someone who can have a little silly little side plot that no one else knows about with me, then I'm cool.
It was good fun. How was the battle?
The battle was pretty cool. I enjoyed the battle. So we marched up into Wintermark. We've never fought for Wintermark and linked up with Hurst Hall. They actually love our singing songs. They very much enjoyed that. Queued up, bumped into Heather from LARPing our asses off, who called us the cock-ups. Can't recognise a good fighting force when you see one, apparently, but hey-ho. Marched up to the gate, which was, pretty much standing march up to the gate, until we got to the tippy top of the queue to go and fight in the vanguard with Hurstel. And then for some reason, all the mercenaries got moved to the back of the fucking Wintermark column, which is very
Irritating.
handy and I don't know, a bit annoying when marching through the Sentinel Gate and you have to run across the entire battlefield trying to find the people who employed you. It's just a bit aggravating because that's not what they paid you for. But it is what it is. I'm sure PD have a reason for doing it. But if you've ever seen this Wintermark column, by the time we got through the gate, they'd already headed to the tippy top of the field. So it's having to sprint across the field to catch up with our employers. That was us and Black Scar as well. But no, the battle was... I'm probably going to undersell it. It was a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed fighting with Hurst Hall. They are quite good with the tactics. It was very much... Right, first line in. Fight for 30 seconds, a minute or two. Rotate out. Next lot in. Fight for a minute and rotate in. And it's like, oh, there's actual tactics here rather than just Dornish charge. Anything else? Any other strategy? Oh no, just charge. Fair enough.
I would like to clarify that's not every single Dornish Lancer's tactic. In fact, the tactic you're talking about, we have used.
Have you? I've never seen it.
You've never fought with me.
Fought with your nation for a year.
Yeah, I didn't say. I said not all.
Fair enough. I was going to say, what was your hero called again? Captain Charge.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, so fighting through, we really weren't in charge of getting the objectives. It was just push the Jotun out from getting to the ritual points and pushing us back in and keep pushing them forward. That was
Yeah,
our
I can't
objective.
remember what the objective was at all, to be honest.
I don't even think I was told what it was.
No,
I
I
was
don't
Was there a
think we were.
ritual or something?
Could be.
No, that was on
Or was that the
Sunday.
Sunday?
Were they both
Yeah.
ritual
I
battles?
think there was a ritual that day as well. We had to stop
Oh,
something being
Fuck knows.
cast. We also weren't meant to interfere with any marchy ghosts, something like that.
the only thing I was told was when we were first on the field, it was, right, as soon as Imperials are on the field, we're sprinting from this end of the field to the gate. I was like, you're fucking joking. And I just remember Ferg turning around and saying, I'm going to win this race. He's like, you fucking watch. He's like, I'll be the first through that gate. And as soon as everyone started running, just bolted off like some kind of bloody greyhound and just sprint. I was like, dude, I'm at a fast walk at the best.
Yeah.
He was fucking gone. But yeah, that was the only sort of direction I had on the field for that entire battle. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, I just want to hit things.
Yeah. Kept pushing. We made it to the gate fight, which was a gate fight. It was very fucking cramped for a...
That's where I saw you, wasn't it?
That's probably one of the places...
Yeah, we saw you at the gate fight.
We saw you at Top Gate.
I went to Middle Gate first for one of the gate fights, and then we went downwards to Top Gate. Too many gates.
I always get confused because people annoyingly use the term the gate, and I'm like, the Sentinel Gate? Because people, we were pushed out the gate. I was like, what, the Sentinel Gate? No. Oh, which gate? There's so many gates.
Yeah.
Tell me which one.
Gateception. Fought there for a bit. Struggled to get to the front because there's that many winter markers just piling. It's like, we're not going to lose this gate. It's just breaking through the Jotun line, really, to progress. We were ordered to try and stop Black Scar from executing the Jotun as well, because it was an honor battle. Whether we've managed it or not, I have no idea, but my lot were keeping an eye on them. Looted one of the Jotun. Got told looting's not honourable. But it's in our marching song. We loot, because we're poor. And the only thing I looted that battle was a Werther's original.
Hey.
Who was it from?
I can't remember, honestly. You're all in masks.
I think someone did. I think one of us did say.
We all take him on the battlefield, so it'd been one of us.
I gave because the only person that brought the Werthers with us this time, I think, was Oily. So we had to just divvy them up, and we all had like one each. And I gave mine to a dying Imperial, and I was like, "Would you like to make your death a bit better, a bit sweeter?" And they were like, "Well, you could heal me." And I went, "No, but have a sweetie." I just walked off. I was like, "Oh,
Bless.
I'm a dick."
I wish I'd got nuggeted when I was killed.
Oh,
That would have been lovely.
A lovely little nug.
Yeah.
Just a plague wolf. Here you go.
There you are.
No. Got my leg cleaved a couple of times. It's quite funny. I have Relentless, but as soon as my leg cleaved, I get dived on by 3 jackdaws. Like, get down, Mr. President, we'll save you. There's me also crying because they've taken me to one particular jackdaw healer who has magical healing, but to annoy me likes to use our coffer's resources to heal me. I'm like, no, my profits, please.
Use your personal mana, you fool.
Stop doing this. You're hurting the Carter's interest. But yeah, the battle, I think, for us went absolutely great. Our last action was to go through Top Gate, which is where I think we saw you, and helped some marchers withdraw because they were in a bit of trouble at that point.
Yeah.
fuck knows.
One thing I will say, though, while we're talking about fighting, is pull your blows. It's
Yeah,
not
I
big.
got proper whacked. That
Yeah,
day.
it's not clever. I had an orc mask on and I was fully clothed. The only bit of skin that I was showing was around my eyelids, and it got smacked twice, as
Yeah.
hard as possible. And you know, if you see if someone does this to you, or you see someone doing it, tell a ref because it's becoming a real problem.
No, absolutely. I got after I'd shouted my "I am unstoppable," and then like had a bit more of a fight or whatever, and I got whacked a bunch more times because I'm fighting and I'm a monster, and I'm not very good at fighting. And then I was like, all right, so I turn around and I go to like look for somewhere to like safe to like dive down and pretend to be dead, but I just kept getting whacked on my back, and I'm like, how many hit points do you think I have?
Yeah.
So I just put my hand up and I'm like, nope, you don't get the dramatic pretend to die from me. I will just walk away with my hand in the air now because
I fully
that
copper
hurt.
strop. If like I've said it before, and I think we
Yeah.
end up mentioning about people not pulling the blows every
Yeah.
time now.
Yeah.
But
I
I've quite openly said like I proper copper strop. Like I've screamed at people, I've sworn at people.
Yeah.
And like I go and I say to people like pull your blows, and I do shout at them. Or if they're just repetitively like wailing on me, I'll just put my hand up. I'm like fucking hell.
Yeah.
And I
I
make
just-
it a point that
Yeah.
it's what they're doing is not okay. It's not made me feel
No.
good.
Telling them is obviously important, but
Well,
I
I
reckon
just wasn't sure if I was just being a bit of a baby about it. So I walked off to respawn with my hand in the air, and I was like looking for someone I know, like, please hit me with your sword just so I know how
Yeah.
hard I should be being hit, because I don't not
Literally,
used to fighting. But
just hard enough so that they can feel it. Obviously,
Yeah.
if they've got like big
No, so
plate
it's
armor, a
nothing
little bit
like that.
harder
When
so
I
they
fight
can
at
feel it.
ILARP or whatever, it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's I'd say one of the best. Obviously, telling them is a good thing and letting them know, or in
Yeah.
Chloe's case, effing and blinding them. That's also a good way to
One
let
way
them
of
know.
communicating.
It's my
But
potty mouth. What can
Just
I say?
take like a mental picture or whatever weapon they're using. It's usually a big two-handed weapon that they're smacking people with.
Yeah.
And
I
just
think
tell
that
a ref.
Maybe there's a
thing
bit
is-
of a weighted thing with that, though. Maybe they can't quite tell how hard they're hitting.
They shouldn't be
Well,
using
they
it
should
then.
be using it, yeah.
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 The thing is, though, it's like it just shouldn't hurt.
No.
Like I
a
have
foam
been
weapon.
whacked very hard before, and I have whacked people very hard before.
Yeah.
Like it happens, but you have like apologize, just like
Yeah, I
really
think you
sorry.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like so I have like because they did this briefing as well before. They were telling everyone that like the crew were telling everyone like a head hit is a valid hit. You're allowed to hit someone on the head.
Yeah.
But you should not be trying to
you should be
concuss
trying
them.
not to.
If you're hitting someone on the head, you're like heroic blow and then tap. Like that's what it is. The whole thing, all your swing should come in your arm and then you flick your wrist. That's all
Yeah.
it should be. Like enough for them to know.
I like to think of it
Yeah.
just being theatrical, like, you know, like I'm not trying to actually hurt somebody. I'm trying to act like I'm hurting
The only
somebody, you know?
place where it gets complicated, I think, is because sometimes it's very hard to realize you've been hit in metal armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you do need to put some weight behind it for someone in chain to realize they've been hit.
Do
Yeah.
hits count in armor?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
hang on. Yeah, no, yeah, armor just gives you more hit points.
Yeah. So if I'm getting whacked and like,
Here's me thinking I couldn't even touch people in heavy armor. Like,
Can
oh,
you
well, this sword isn't
imagine?
going to do
yeah,
anything.
no, you can, but
But obviously, it's just hero calls that aren't.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like if somebody whacks my pauldron and I'm not looking, I'm
You're not gonna know,
never
yeah.
gonna know.
Yeah.
But if you're a monster and you're wearing polyplate and literally just covered the front of your chest or whatever, and your arms and that are fine, yeah, if you're fighting someone like that, maybe be gentle.
So I was fighting this on the Saturday. I was up against a line of freeborn, and I'd hit a freeborn,
Yeah.
and I can't remember why. I had a cleave from somewhere. I watched someone in a mask like danced around me for a minute or something.
Oh,
and
did
was
you get empowered? You
Oh,
got
okay.
empowered.
Probably they danced around me for a minute and was like,
And then
"Oh,
told you
they were
got
like
a
you can
cleave
cleave
now.
someone." I went, "Yeah, okay then."
Might
I
have
didn't
been our
question it,
Grunfoss.
but could have been. I had no idea. But anyway, so I cleaved this person, and I literally they did nothing, and I went, "Oh, that was a cleave, by the way." And they were like, "It didn't hit me." I went, "Bro, I felt it hit you. Like I felt my sword." I was like, "I felt it," and he went, oh, "Right, okay." And then went,
Yeah.
"Oh, physics," and like got really shitty about it. And I'm like, they weren't even wearing armor. Like they should have felt it. And I was
Yeah.
just like, if I can feel my sword hit you, it's hit you.
I mean, I've had it
yeah.
before. It takes a minute to realise. Like when I got impaled in my knee with an arrow, the arrow hit me and I looked up and they went, "Oh no!" Like sometimes it takes a minute.
I tailor my hits as to what they're wearing.
Yeah.
So like if I'm just hitting someone and there's just clothes and it's just real likes, I know
Yeah,
they're
I
gonna feel
think
it
that'd be a
all the
good
way
thing
up
to
to
bear in mind
Yeah,
in
if they got
general, yeah.
plate, then I'll give them a good knock so that they're aware that they've been hit.
I've seen several instances recently of so I cleaved someone in the leg and they kept running saying I am relentless and I'm like, buddy, that's not
That's not how that works.
Please come back.
You have to go down where I've hit you so I can continue to wail on you on the floor.
Yeah.
But it just was very funny to watch someone running away going, I am relentless. And I'm like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, but you're not a cartoon character. Stop.
Yeah, it was very, I think it's
Anyway, yeah. Enough of griping about.
yeah, God,
Yeah,
yeah.
battlefield
Do you know what?
etiquette.
Anyway.
Here's what you do.
Yeah.
If you think someone has done an unpulled blow, find a ref,
Yeah.
tell them,
Yeah.
they'll watch them, and then they'll go, yeah, you're right, and then they'll pull them aside.
Yeah.
That's
There we
the
go.
approach there.
In summary.
Simples. But yeah, that was pretty much the end of the battle. Helped the marchers pull themselves out. We got offered a half a Thrones bar tab at the pub. I think it was the Blind Eye.
Oh,
The
yeah, you
Black
mentioned
Rat.
this.
Yeah, when I got there, they were out of booze, so no
Oh.
no tab for Nietzsche. But oh well. Leaving the battle, I think it was great. Hurst Hall absolutely loved having us, and we've actually signed another contract with them for next year. Yippee!
Hell yeah.
Paperwork done, gonna get paid. But yeah, we left the battle thinking, oh, that went great. That was such a simple, nice, easy battle. Get back to Lee. 10 of the national block have been slaughtered, unfortunately. And
Oh shit.
two with the Seawolves as well. Apparently their side of the battle was a lot different. They were ordered to guard a spot that didn't need guard. I don't know the drama, but they were in a very bad place when the Jotun was spawning.
And then after the battle, what was everyone's plans?
Well, we were sat in camp, kind of not really ready. Like I still hadn't even put my makeup on yet. I still had red face paint on, and then a load of Leaguers come marching to our little nook of the wood.
Oh, which group was that by chance?
Oh, just the small little unknown group called the Crimson Reapers.
I've never heard of them.
Nah,
Must be new.
not worth it. But no, they came because they had some game with Agni from the Ashbourne camp or Millie from the Larp Boobs.
The Larp Boobs.
The
Were
Larp
you
Boobs.
led by Prince Reddit at all?
They were led by Prince Radic, yes.
Prince Reddit.
I just want to piss off Joe.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that a Tom wisdom or did you just
Prince
fill
Reddit.
it?
that
Tell
was on
anymore.
purpose.
Love you, Joe.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the whole big old messy sort of thing. If you want to hear about what was going on, head over to the Larp Noobs, and Millie, Bung, and Ian do explain everything very wonderfully. So they talk about it. But anyway, Agni was freeze branded, but then marched to the militia to be marched to her death, essentially, which was real sad because Neve had started to make her move on Agni. So she's lost 2 of her loves in one weekend.
All
Pretty
that work
horrific.
ruined.
I know. And I gave her flowers.
I managed to nugget her before she died as well.
Oh, yeah, we did.
In true Dreadshield fashion.
She was sat on the bench
Brilliant.
outside the militia. And we just, But, yeah, Talis and Neve walked Agni to the militia tent where the Reapers were all taking it turn to ask what the brand was. And it got very old very quick. But obviously, they were having the whale of the time with it. But, so yeah, Neve and Agni exchanged a few little words, but I had to go and get ready because I had shit to do. And I, like I said, hadn't even done my makeup at this point. Like, I was still had red face paint on my face. So, yeah, R.I.P. Agni.
I said so long and thanks for all the fish. Because I wasn't that close to Agni as a character. Like, oh, you were lovely. You broke our trust. We invited you to wine night, and this is how you repay us.
Oh, yeah, I suppose it's a very different feeling being League on Navarre.
Yeah,
Well,
when you're
as I say-
closer to the Crimson Reapers.
Millie as a player, absolutely lovely. Nietzsche and Agni never really met each other that much. Every now and again, in passing or an occasional drink.
But whilst that was going on, so this event for me was like tournament fest. So I had like back-to-back tourneys, basically.
I never noticed. You had all the free time to do all the important
I
things.
literally couldn't do anything. I think I had like a free hour at some point, but I went through the Sentinel Gate because previous champions of Barion's Challenge the Iron Duke were invited beyond the gate. Well, those from Dawn and from Wintermark were invited beyond the gate to be issued a challenge from Barion. And basically, there's a competition between Dawn and Wintermark. I'm not going to say what the challenge is because I think it'd be fun to like find out in play. But over the next year, we've got a big like competition that needs to get done. There's a big announcement in the Glory Square, so that's gonna be really good fun. And then there was also, I think we've mentioned already, but there was another Barion tournament where everyone that wanted to partake in this big tournament went to go grab a favour from the heralds before time in, and then you could fight people who had these favours. And if you won. If you won that fight, you won the favour that you had bet. So I'd been fighting to collect those all day. So again, I was in armour at all times. I beat a good friend of mine who was a Varushkan. I beat a Freeborn, and then 2 Knight Errants who were in the Winged Lions, which was really fun as well. I got 7. I was like, that's not going to get me on, but I had them collected in my pouch, which was really good. And then I had the Knight Protector tournament, so I've been asked to fight for someone in the Knight Protector tournament. For those that don't know, the Knight Protectors is a Dornish title. It's a martial title. There are 4 of them: spring, summer, autumn, winter, and they're elected at the respective seasons with a grand tournament, and they're in charge of protecting the Empire from threats from the realms. So each of those, obviously, so the one for autumn is in charge of protecting the realm from threats from the autumn realm and other such things. So they helped against the cold sun because they were tipped off by the lictors, who are like an autumn eternal. So that was really cool. So we got ready to go got into the Glory Square, and I was going to be fighting for a good friend of mine, Lord Torag Maliora, and then another friend of mine who would also ask is a listener to the podcast, is Teddy Griffentail, and I saw that their force was smaller, so I turned to Torag and I said, look, best of luck, but I'm going to fight with them. So I went with the other force and had a really good scrap. It was really fun. Colwyn Durandal got me, literally, had like a hooked thing, got me around the back of my foot and cleaved my leg off.
Nice.
And I was like, fucking hell. So like, luckily, like the lion was swarming around me as I was trying to bring my leg back with the Relentless. And then managed to use my sword to kind of like weakness some magicians, which was really good fun. But I ended up going down pretty severely. Which was good fun, and I got like 2 traumatic wounds and dragged off the Glory Square, sat on the bench. And then I was thinking to myself, right, so I've got this, I have the elections after this, and I've got another tournament I need to fight in, and I've got a meeting with someone later. I should probably go over to Navarre at some point and go, oh, who's that walking towards me across the Glory Square?
Were they looking pissed?
They were looking very upset. I very much saw them at that moment. You know, I don't know if you've ever had this, where you need to call your mum.
Yeah.
Like, I need to call my mum. It needs to happen because I haven't spoken to her in a while. And then you're building up to doing it, and then your mum calls you, and you're like, fuck, no, I was going to call you. Anyway, that's the feeling I got as I saw Neve Agrat storming across the Glory Square. I'm like, I'm sure this is going to be fine.
Yeah, well, I'd completely forgotten about this, to be honest. So Neve was accompanied by Yana and Jaquin. Yeah. Because they had business in Dawn, like they had to go to Randall. I had to go to Randall because I was trying to hire Randall to play at Otis's funeral. I was like, also, I need to go and shout at a certain lord for being
A dingus.
a dingus, sure. So
For not showing up to console Neve in her darkest hour.
more than that, but pretty much. I'd seen Sol and the not so alive most handsome man in the Empire now. I said, "Oh, have you seen Tristan?" And Sol was like, "Oh, yeah, they're fighting in the square." I was like, "Okay, right, I'll catch them in a bit." And they were asking why, so I explained. I was like, "So I'm going to go shout at him." And Sol was like, "Okay, as soon as he's out, I will go shout at him as well." I was like, "Yes, thank you, Sol. Fantastic, perfect, 10 out of 10." But yeah, and we did a couple laps because I was trying to find Randall. And then on my second lap, I saw you sitting down. I was like, right, this is it. So I could see you getting surgery in your arms. So I crouched down in front of Tristan. And I was like, I hope it fucking hurts. And he kind of just looks up and looks at me. And you know what? Like, it's some of the best RP I've had for a while. Like, I got really into it. And like, after... Because it did get quite heated. I did a lot of screaming and shouting and crying. And as I kind of like walked away, I went, oh, that was really intense. Like, that was really intense for me. Like, I hope Morgan's okay. So I literally just swung back and went, hey, you good? Like, you're right. Just a quick little check-in, like, just making sure. Because I kind of felt a little bit bad. IC, couldn't care. But I was like, OC, like, that was a lot. So
Yeah.
For me, it was like, I've spoke about this already. For me, I felt like this sucks as well because it was a huge OC fuck up because I was like, I need to go over. And then just never got around to it. So I had, as well as like the IC I fucked up, but also Tristan not wanting to admit he's wrong, was mingled with, I'm really sorry.
yeah. Like, I think Neve made some pretty good points.
No, yeah,
like,
no, 100%.
It was a good argument though. It was a good argument.
Yeah. No, it's all good fun. But yeah, no, I felt awful.
Yeah,
But
she
it-
very
As you
much
should.
she very much shouted at Tristan for not showing up for Otis's, like, to pay his respect to Otis, but also not to come and comfort Neve, like to come and see. Like,
Yeah.
because we had the argument. It was when you had said like, when have you come to my friends' funerals? And I was like, I don't know your friends and I don't care them. Otis was your friend as well. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good. It was a lot of fun. Do you know what? I really enjoyed arguing with Tristan.
Yeah. Well, I'll always give you a good argument. It's fine.
But yeah, so
So that was
that was that.
horrible end to a tournament. So following that, I then then was some very intense senatorial elections. So for the sake of impartiality, I'm not going to say what side I was supporting. I'm not going to say anything of the sort. I just wanted to talk about the absolute tension that was happening in the Glory Square. So it was the elections for the senator for Astolat, because the senator for Astolat at the previous summit had been revoked from their position. So they basically had to re-elect them, which was this summit, as well as the senator for Semaholm. And they got everyone into the Glory Square to do the vote. They briefed everybody on the kind of like voting system and how to do it and who's allowed to vote. And you had one candidate on the kind of like left side and one on the right side. And all the nobles begin to queue and everyone's kind of counting. And it's like, I count, 20 odd that side, 20 odd that side. Oh, it's going to be close, whatever it is. And the egregores count them on one side. And then they swap sides and they both of them count both sides and they agree on the numbers. And it was 24 for one, 24 for the other.
Oh,
And they went, what do we do? So then it was like, right, we need to find some more Astolat nobles to vote. So they start calling for them. There was a couple of nobles who said they were going to vote, but then weren't at the Glory Square. So people were running around trying to find them, shouting, trying to find people. The candidates crossed sides to talk to each side to try and convince people to come over to them. There was like running everywhere. And it was like 10 minutes of like the most tense moment, like trying to find out, will the previous like senator be reinstated? Will there be a new one? Running around like crazy trying to find people. felt like an age, and then eventually more people filtered into the Glory Square. And I was like, hang on, did you see how many people went to each side? It's like, not quite. I think it was roughly even who went to which side. I was like, oh God. So like they do the count again. They do the count a second time. They do the count a third time. They do the count a fourth time.
Jeez.
And the count happened, and the previous senator was not reinstated. It was a completely new senator was elected. But it was just the most like, oh my God.
Close.
It was, I think in the end it was like 28 and 27. Like it was like
Jesus.
a hair's width.
To
It
be
was
fair,
mad.
as a leaguer, that's when you just step out of the voting queue. It's like, which one's going to bribe me for my vote?
Yeah,
Who's gonna pay me
exactly.
most?
Yeah.
So if it was an election I were up for and I lost by that small amount, I wouldn't be too disheartened because I'd be like, oh, it's not like people don't think I'm competent. Like if you had lost by a landslide, you'd be.
It makes the best stories, though. It's like when Joe Raddick lost the senatorship for Spiral by less than a single business.
Yeah.
It's like less than one vote. It's crazy.
It shows that, there's enough people that have that confidence in you. So even though you've not got the vote of whatever you're doing, you've got that confidence with it.
You don't want it to be a washout.
Yeah.
Not quite as fun. Not every time, at least. Yeah. What about you, Alex? What was your new character up to? What was Baron getting his teeth into?
So I had introduced myself as Bera, a new character, and had a lovely afternoon. We had our stabby meals,
Oh, fucking
which
unreal.
were sensational. And then I slung some mead, initially with Grunfoss, because he was selling his nuts. And
How are you selling it though? What were you telling people?
no, I'm not going to say that.
Can you say it off the air?
He was telling people it was to pay for his brother's funeral.
That's a great salesman tactic. I approve.
No, I wasn't saying buy my mead because it's to pay for someone's funeral, my brother. It wasn't
just
like a
implied.
guilt trip. It was someone would buy it because I assumed that in character you would need money to pay for some kind of funeral or ceremony. I thought that would maybe be a little bit of role play. So every time I sold a bottle, I would say, thank you for your patronage. The money will help go towards my brother's funeral. I thought that was just a nice little bit of role play to say. I wasn't going around saying, buy my
Buy our
mead
mead,
or my
please.
brother won't be buried, But there was a really interesting point where I was stood the next day in line ready to fight, and Neve from Larping my arse off came up because she'd bought a bottle the day before and goes, did you manage to make enough for your brother's funeral? And I was like, I did, yes, thank you. And then she walked off, and Carrick behind me and Rocky just turn and look at me, and they're like, what did she just say? and Carrick goes, pretty sure that funeral was free. And Rocky, rightly so, interpreted it as I was using it as a tactic to sell more meat, and goes, good on you, mate. I would have done the same. And I was like, no, this makes me sound like such a fucking charlatan. So sorry, Neve, but none of the money went to my brother's funeral. It did go to pay for a lot of drinks, though.
Hey!
So we went and sold a load of mead, and I had a nice little trip around with Bread. Me and Bread had a little cruise around, went through the league and sold some mead and had some crazy interactions. And that was about it. I think that took us up into the afternoon at least.
What about Radka?
I was hanging around with Danica and Red. We were actually posting our letters after Lashnar. Well, me and Red were. Danica has some other eternal plot, which I won't speak too much of here, but some of you may know that it's very complicated and has led to her character getting death threats. So she'd hired Red to be her bodyguard. And most of the conversation as we were walking around was about how shit Red was at that job. Which didn't help when Red had disappeared later on. In fact, actually, yes, the night before when Red had been wandering around with me with Lashnar stuff, they had meant to be in bodyguarding. So we were just making fun of them and their lack of ability bodyguarding. We sent our letters in. I don't know if I mentioned this before when I was talking about writing the letters, but me and Red read through each other's letters before sending them off. Then after sending them off, it occurred to me, I was like, hang on, Red, did you have a question in that letter? And Red was like, yeah, why? And I was like, oh, you just sent that to Eternal, who's infamously like hates being asked questions and has cursed people in the past for asking questions. And Red was like, what? And I was like, sorry, I didn't think to like proofread it.
Oh my God.
So that could lead to something spicy later on. I don't know.
Incredible.
And then we were just sat around and we were again talking about how shit Red was as a bodyguard. And like Red put the dagger down in front of them, and I was saying like, look, you've got your back to the tent. Like, what if someone comes down from behind the tent? Like, you're not going to notice. And they were like, yeah, no, I can see because I can see everywhere, whatever. And then they said something else, and I said, right, yeah, let me just make a point. I grabbed the dagger from in front of them and held it up towards Danica, just proving a point, and then put it back down. They looked at me like, whoa, where did that come from? I was like, you got to be vigilant, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you never know.
Like, you never know. If, like, literally, you let your guard down and you're meant to be a bodyguard. Like, don't just put a dagger in front of
Radka reveals a militia. Radka reveals a militia body cam underneath their coat.
Yeah, literally. And that's all I've got on my notes for before Otis's funeral. Also, while I was with Danica and Red, Danica had picked up a wand that she was getting for somebody, or, well, Yadra had picked up a wand that they were getting for somebody from one of the out-of-character vendors. And I was sort of twiddling it around in my fingers a little bit. And I'd envisioned myself getting a rod, and I thought that the wand would feel silly, but I quite liked the wand. And now I'm a bit like, a wand would be more affordable as well. Like, realistically, it's a smaller weapon, it's going to cost less. So now I can't decide, wand, wad, or staff. Can people in the comment section please help me decide?
Do you have Batman?
I don't know. Yeah, I do have Batman.
And you can have a staff.
I have a rod and a sword. I mean, obviously, without Ambi, I'd have to have like one. I wouldn't be able to use both interchangeably. I'd have to like put one.
Rod and
away.
shield is a very good combination.
Rod and shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I'd have to buy
You
a
have
rod
to buy
and
the
a
shield
shield.
skill
Yeah.
and the shield
Whereas
itself.
staff can stay back. But I was thinking with wand, like I like the idea of like restoring limbs by putting the wand against the limb like a splint sort of thing. And also at one point I was trying to stitch someone together, and doing that using a staff gets them. They're like, oh my god, that's a bit bigger than a needle. So, I mean, I would like a wand, I think, even if I use something else as well. I could have a wand and a staff.
Yeah, true.
A staff to, like, bump people on the head from a while away, and then a wand for healing and stuff, maybe. Yeah.
Figure it out.
But anyway, I'll figure that out at some point. Anyway, I think that's
probably a good place to wrap up.
Our time, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening. If you'd like to support the podcast at all, obviously like, share, and subscribe always helps. We have a Patreon as well. Thank you to our Patreon subscribers. If you have never been to Anvil before and you'd like to come join us at Empire, you can use our, what are they called?
Referral code.
Referral codes.
£15 off yours, £15 off ours.
Yes, in the description down below, if you'd like to help us out there. And then obviously you get £15 off as well. And I think that's all the wrap up. Do we have any 5-star reviews that you are obliged to read out today?
Not this
Morgan?
week because we're running out of time. But yes, you are. You have. In fact, I'm changing the policy on this. You have to. If you want to listen to this podcast, leave us a 5-star review. I'm getting more and more actively violent with this.
Even if you just DM Morgan with it.
No, public. I'm not having. Don't be sliding into my DMs. No, the price of entry is a review. Are you joking me? Do you know how much effort Alex puts into this podcast? Freeloaders, a lot of you.
I can't vouch for that. It's a lot for him to edit, especially this train wreck of an episode today.
I love all of you listeners, and you can all listen for free. If you do write a 5-star review in the sky though, with like a plane, or have like a banner behind it, then we'll do an episode just about you and your character.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But there's got to be photographic evidence, and it can't be photoshopped.
Alex will know. But yeah, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.